So thank you very much, Ryan, for joining me today on my channel. Such a pleasure to have such a superstar.
Always, thank you for having me.
First and foremost, congratulations on an awesome start to the 4-day series. To win by an innings on day 3, and your personal performance was outstanding. So really, really well done.
Thank you. Obviously, a good way to start the season, not just for me, but obviously the team. You know, 2.5 days, I think was quite impressive, and yeah, good way to begin for everyone.
Yeah, and you made a massive statement for, anyone watching, new season starting.
Yeah, I always try to start well. Obviously it's always the goal. It's not that easy sometimes, especially batting at the Wanderers. Anything can happen. So yeah, obviously delighted to kick it off nicely, because it's not the easiest place to play sometimes.
No, very, very true. So you did really, really well. Speaking of like 4-day series, and your record in all formats is very impressive. Is there a format that you prefer to play?
Probably more 4-day stuff, to be honest. I like it's obviously each format carries its own challenges, but I think the 4-day, the red ball cricket, is probably the most rewarding in terms of the efforts you put in. And yeah, like I said, it's not easy, and that's why I think when you are successful, it's really, the reward is it feels a lot better, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a big purist when it comes to cricket. Test cricket is where it's at for me. I enjoy the short format stuff, but Test cricket, that's where I'll get up at 2 a.m, no worries, and I'll get up and watch a Test match.
Me too, don't worry. I'll definitely be doing the same thing.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ashes, kind of.
Yeah, definitely am as well.
So this is something I've always wanted to ask a pro cricketer, because I have lots of pet peeves when it comes to cricket. Do you, as a professional player, have anything that bothers you about the game?
What do you mean, in terms of the rules, or in terms of?
Well, like for instance, me, time wasting is one of my biggest things, especially at the end of a ODI or a T20. It's the last over. I'm waiting for the game to finish so I can go and have a shower or go to bed or start dinner. And this over, these 6 balls take an age to finish.
They do. I think that's everyone's kind of irritation, especially in cricket, is that it is very slow. But in terms of the game and stuff like that, obviously you try to rush through it quickly so you can give yourself that extra bit of time at the end. But I mean, I guess in those last couple of overs of any white ball game, I think the bowlers do need that extra minute. But for me personally, I don't know, I can't say I have any pet peeves towards it. My thing might be with regards to time are the DRSs and how slow those take as well.
Oh
those are very slow these days, because I don't know why. I don't know all the technicalities of it, but yeah, sometimes they don't get all the images, or they don't get the ultrasound or the ultra edge, sorry. That also can be a bit frustrating, is that it can take almost 5 minutes for them to actually, especially when you can kind of, the results, if it's after whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And it still takes so long.
There was an instance, I think it was South Africa's last game. Rusty took a clean catch. You saw on the first replay, it was a clean catch.
Yes.
Yet there was replay after replay after replay. It's out, for goodness sake.
I know, as well with Glenn Maxwell, when he reviewed his LBW, it was hitting, could see it was hitting halfway up leg stump, and you got to go through the whole process, and suddenly the ball track is taking 20 minutes to get ready, and when it's out as well, it's just a bit frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, have you been watching any of the T20 World Cup? But I guess you have.
Yeah, I've been watching majority of the big games. Yeah, I've been watching all of them. I didn't watch the India game last night. Obviously I saw in New Zealand one, which was quite interesting, but yeah, I've watched majority of it.
They didn't just win, they won comprehensively.
Yeah, they thumped them. I was surprised by that.
India are a bit off the boil right now, it seems. So not
I don't know if they're maybe just a bit fatigued from the IPL, but
hey man, that's their choice. They decide to play all those games, that's on them.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch any of the 100 over the English summer?
Yeah, lots of it actually. I loved it. It was quite cool to watch. Yeah.
Really? I'll be honest. I watched maybe 10 minutes of the first game, and I was like, I can't get behind this.
I enjoyed watching like certain players, like I'd always watch when Liam Livingston bats, because that's quite exciting to watch. I just also the way guys went about it and stuff like that. But I will watch more based on the players, the guys that were actually involved in each game, rather than the overall scheme of it. Yeah. But it was quite interesting. Was clearly successful and looked like it'll stick around for a while.
If your only measure of success is money, then sure, but
popularity, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Lots of players have spoken about the struggles of bubble life. I know you've been in lots of bubble environments as well. So how do you keep yourself refreshed, ready to go, occupied during a bubble?
God, I have no idea. It's so difficult, some of them. Obviously the guys, the international guys, they've been in bubbles for a long time. So it does take its toll on you, I must say. I underestimated it at first when I first saw some players pulling out of tournaments due to it. I thought, come on, it couldn't be that difficult. But it does become a bit daunting. So a lot of guys obviously bring their PlayStations and books and stuff like that. And some guys are studying still, or started studying because of it.
Oh, really?
I'm one of those guys. I picked up a couple of short courses to try and do something else. Bring a PlayStation, you got Netflix or PlayStation, and I read a lot of books now in it. And it does get boring, because obviously half the time you can't leave the hotel, and there's nothing. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're just stuck in a room with sometimes with a view, sometimes without a view. So I think it's just things. It's difficult. It ranges from person to person. I'm quite an active person. I don't like doing nothing. So for me, it's quite difficult. But for a couple of my mates like Bjorn Fortain and them, he's happy to sit and sleep and play PlayStation and stuff like that. So he deals with it much better than I do.
Right.
But yeah, I think guys find their little ways, meet up in everyone's room at lunch, play card games, table tennis, just try get out of your room.
So you're allowed to mingle with other players. You're not just stuck by yourself in your room the whole time.
In the bubbles I've been in, once you enter the bubble and you're all clean, you can move around within the environment. As long as it's your team, you're obviously encouraged to try keep your distance. But I think people just break that anyway. It's too difficult to just sit in your room all day, every day on your own.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, my husband and I are very, very much homebodies. So when lockdown happened, it wasn't really we couldn't go to the office, go to work. We didn't go to the grocery store, but it was really quite okay, us just sitting at home and doing our own thing. So it didn't bother us as much as other people.
Yeah, I don't think the original lockdown was too difficult. I think now if they had to instill it again, it would be quite hard. But I just think among the players, obviously we live an active lifestyle. We're always outside, to not be allowed to do that for not just a couple of days, for weeks and weeks on end. I think that's when it starts to really catch up with you, and your mental, I won't say state, but you feel drained more often than not, because there's nothing which gives you a bit more mental energy other than just burning it the whole day. So that's, I think, is the biggest struggle.
But I mean, it does play on your mental state. So that's an important point you brought up, because mental health is very important and it does need to be looked after, and something like this does play on it. So it's important to find ways to just deal with it. So well done for doing that.
Mental health, I've noticed, is emphasized in these bubbles. I've struggled with mental health stuff and those things when in the bubbles as well, but whatever issues you have gets highlighted in these BSC environments, just because purely there's nothing else to do other than look at these issues that you have within yourself. So it's important to obviously find ways to mitigate that, and obviously important to latch onto a friend or someone, a partner in the environment as well, who can kind of help you, and you can kind of just ease each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So if it wasn't bubble life, how would you in an ordinary world just relax? Because people need to find ways to unwind and relax. How do you do that?
Well, when you go on tours and stuff like that, so firstly, back at home, I'm always busy. Like I say, always outside exercising. Joburg, the weather's great now in the summer, so always playing golf outside, doing a lot of those things. think the problem is when you go on tours and stuff like that, we go to Durban, we go to Cape Town, to PE. The beach is right there. The weather's good, and we can't go outside and stuff like that. So that kind of annoys me. But I mean, when without those environments, when we go to these places, I mean, we sleep at the hotel. Other than that, we always out. We go out for dinner. We go to the beach. We go for Cape Town. There's always things to do. Durban, PE, same thing. Always along the coastline there. So I think it's just more about going out and stuff like that, and being able to leave the hotel. Where obviously in the bubbles you leave the hotel under strict eye, and that's in a bus to the ground, and that's the only place you can go. We struggled last year during the Durban, the T20 knockout. I don't think Durban's ever had better weather in its life. I swear it's never actually had better weather before. And there we are sitting inside. I'm looking at the sea, just thinking, oh my God, I want to go outside. So yeah, that's the difficult part. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Durban is notoriously bad for rain. So yeah, if you catch it on a good day, then you want to be outside.
Yeah, and those 2 weeks we were there, I swear it was the best weather I've ever seen in Durban.
Well, I'm in Cape Town, and I'm from London, and today looking outside, it's like I'm back in London with the weather in Cape Town.
Yeah, I see it's pouring down there again, which is actually nice. Cape Town must take what they can get.
I love the cold weather, I must say, so I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
So do you have any cricketing heroes that you had growing up?
Yeah, a few actually. I always loved the way that the Australians played. So my guys are always Ricky Ponting and Mike Hussey, Shane Watson. Those are the guys that I really, really enjoyed watching. Like I said, I used to wake up at 2:00 in the morning to watch the Ashes, to watch them play. So I think from an early age, those were kind of my go-tos. I just love the way that they play the game. That intense rivalry, not obviously the aggression that they had, but just the way that they played and just how they just destroyed you whenever they played. And they're such great players. Yeah, they're such great players, each and every one of them in their own ways. And I used to love watching Australia, so I always looked up to those guys, and they were probably my role models from a young age.
So then how did you feel when Sandpaper Gate happened?
Well, luckily most of them are retired ones. Obviously I was quite Australia, I think, has changed from the way that they were. Obviously they used to beat you. They're always tough, but I think the way when Warner and those guys got involved, it kind of took a darker turn, or a different route. I obviously always pro South Africa, but I was happy to obviously see us win that series. But it's just an interesting one, obviously one that's very frowned upon, and rightly so. But I think just more the characters that Australia became in those times wasn't the ones that obviously I liked back in the day. And I just think it was personality differences from player to player, I guess. And obviously not good for the game.
No, I mean, I remember the Hansi Cronje scandal, and that the Sandpaper Gate was equally as bad. I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, obviously as a South African fan, it was good, but
but just for the general shape of Australian cricket and the shape of the game, it obviously wasn't good to see. I
didn't know how they were going to come back from that, so they've done very well to come back from that.
Yeah, they have done well, especially Smith and Warner, I think.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest David Warner fan, but he's all right.
Yeah, I used to actually really love when he was coming onto the scene, but just the way I think he behaved in that series, even prior to Newlands, the Durban Test, when he had a go at AB de Villiers and all of that kind of stuff, and the whole Quinton de Kock thing in the stairwell there, kind of really, I think it just kind of showed you the character of who he is. And that's, when the Sandpaper thing happened, wasn't surprising that maybe someone with that doggish mentality would be involved.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a final question I wanted to ask you. If, a youngster, boy or girl, came up to you and said, Ryan, I want to grow up and play cricket, what would be your advice to them?
We actually get asked this question quite a lot in Rangers all the time. It's the cliche answer is always the ones, obviously, just pursue what you have, and never give up on your dreams and all those kind of things. But what I kind of say is, if you enjoy it, really just make sure you enjoy it more than anything. I think from a younger age, a lot of guys, including myself, we put a lot of pressure on when we were younger, obviously, because we want to play provincially and for Gauteng and climb up the ladder. But I think what kept a lot of us going is that we really enjoyed it and we loved practicing just as much as we love playing, probably even more than we love practicing. So I think that was my whole thing, is that really give it your all and make sure that you enjoy your practice and enjoy the bigger part of cricket other than just playing it. And just make sure you have fun with your friends, because that actually keeps you in the game longer than you think.
No, that's a good answer. Yeah, I love that. That's very cool. So thank you very much for your time today. It's been thoroughly enjoyable.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck for your next game.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Gonna need it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye, man.
You too. Enjoy your day.